There you go.
Ready? Well, Dave, we knew weather was going to likely play into consideration with this weekend. Now you guys have a doubleheader today. You've got Yoshinobu starting the first one. Just how do you look to kind of manage getting through this day, understanding it's the beginning of your road trip as well?
So, obviously it's helpful to have Yoshi go game one. In theory, we get more length to protect us for game two. Don't know what we're going to do as far as the starter for game two. I think it's going to depend on, obviously, game one. Emmett, we're going to push him back to tomorrow. So I think that in theory, a bullpen game for game two makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, I think we're in a good spot.
Why did you decide to push back Emmett?
Well, I think that, the elephant in the room is Shohei's not going to start on Wednesday. His knee, we just want to continue to give it the best chance to kind of get into a good spot. And as he said, as we feel, it's the pitching and the torque on landing on that leg that kind of gets it upset. And so I think that the hitting doesn't do that. So I think that for us, we're trying to give it as much time as possible. So I think being able to kick Emmett to Monday made the most sense.
Did he throw a bullpen session and that's when he realized the knee wasn't responding?
No, he didn't. He just was playing catch, and then also just kind of the feeling of where he's at, how it feels day to day. So that was enough for him to talk to the trainers and feel like there was no need to test it with a bullpen where he already knew the answer, right? So I just think for us, it's more like we've done many times over, erring on the side of caution.
Are you just fully skipping this start or pushing him back a couple days, or do you know yet?
Don't know yet. But kind of where we're at right now, how we're proceeding, I would say that, it's going to be some time. And I say that it's not going to be a day-to-day thing. I think that once we've moved Emmett, the rotation can keep going forward without Shohei for the time being. And I can't speak to how long that's going to be.
Will he DH both games today?
I will see how the first game goes. And so I'm going to leave that open-ended. Yep.
How much of a concern is this that coming off the injection, it's still an issue?
I think it's more of, honestly, I think that part of it, a lot of it is where we're at and how we've put ourselves in a good spot in the sense of, could he probably do it? Sure. But right now, the cost just doesn't seem to outweigh or the benefits don't seem to outweigh the cost this time of the season. So I think that we still have plenty of time to kind of get him to a good spot to then pitch.
He's going to be skipping potentially future starts too. How do you anticipate filling his spot in order to keep kind of a six-man rotation?
Well, we have days off coming up, so that's an easier short-term answer. And then obviously Blake did 2 innings yesterday, or almost 2 innings. So then, you'd like to think that number one, Shohei will be back at some point, and then number two, you got Blake coming too.
Is Landon 27th man tonight?
What's that?
Who's your 27th man?
It's probably going to be Kyle Hurt. We got somebody else coming, but I think it's probably going to be Kyle Hurt.
Is Landon now
Dave,
built up
with
enough?
Ohtani, how does this work? Did he come to you guys and say, I don't think we should push this back? Do you guys go to him saying, maybe it's a better idea that we put this up? How did this thing kind of originate? Because he was on the schedule, obviously, for Wednesday.
He was on the schedule when we broke camp, or when we broke for the All-Star break. And then it was more of the training staff talking to him about, hey, coming out of the break, how does Wednesday look? How do you feel? If you don't feel 100%, we have the opportunity to just kick the can. And so I think that for us, the player is always going to want to be out there and participate, but I think it's more driven by the organization saying, hey, if you're not 100% right, we don't have to do this.
Is there any chance he doesn't pitch again this season?
No, I don't. No, not at all. I guess anything's possible, but I don't think that's a possibility. No.
You guys talked about, I know you said it doesn't affect him hitting, so that's why he's going to keep hitting. But is there any thought that maybe shutting him down from hitting for a few days might help the knee?
No, because there's no, and again, he did this pitching when he does swing the bat. It's the back knee versus the land knee, where you're kind of driving off of it to create torque when you pitch. And so there's no feeling of any sensation or any, reason why we feel like we got to stop hitting. No.
Do you think you're in a situation now where it's basically, I know you said day to day, but pitching every 6 days, I guess, for you guys, that it's just going to be a start-to-start issue?
I think, honestly, that's a hard one to answer right now, because I think it's more of the first step is getting him into a spot where he feels like, and we feel like he can pitch and not regress. So I think that at that point in time, we can kind of read and react. I just can't even answer that right now.
Are you guys hoping he can kind of get to a place at some point where the knee's not going to be an issue again, or is this something that's starting to feel like he's going to have to manage it the rest of the year?
I think that's why we're trying to be a little bit more on the proactive side as far as obviously right now, I don't know when his last start was, but let's call it 10 days. And then if it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's kind of why we're trying to do this. So we don't have to, worry about it, throughout the end of the season.
Mark and both Shohei have talked about how they believe they've been able to address something mechanically that can take some pressure off of that knee. Does this time, just with missing this next start, does it allow for him to be able to also kind of focus in on some of the mechanical things that maybe could help protect that knee of his?
Yeah, I think so. But again, he hasn't been off the mound in a while. I'm sure he's going to work on that type of delivery and flat ground. But to be honest, so yes is the short answer. But then you got to obviously get off the mound and see how it feels when you're on the mound.
What was the report you got on Blake yesterday?
The stuff, fine. As far as execution, not great. Got his pitch count up, so he couldn't get through 2. But for the first one, he'll be fine. I think he goes again on Friday, and the hope is it'd be 3 innings.
Dave, it's a big week in New York today, the World Cup Finals today. There was the ESPYs Fanatics Fest. How special is it for the Dodgers and Yankee series to be in there too?
Yeah, it's you don't see this series kind of in the shadows of anything, but with what's going on today with the World Cup, it's a special event, and fortunately we have a doubleheader that we can still tune in between games. But it's great, and for us to be in New York and you see, the energy and people from all over the world in New York City, it's pretty cool.
Do you have a pick between Argentina and Spain to win?
It's hard to go against the GOAT, man. They're the underdog, but it's hard to bet against Messi.
Blake, he'd obviously prefer to have him do the full build-up, but could you push that a little earlier just with what shows going on?
I don't think so. I think we tried that one. I think the full build-up, 5 and 75, and then we'll kind of go from there.
So with Ohtani, he said after his last start that the discomfort's like in his kneecap. Do you guys have any more idea if it might be again related to that surgery that he had in 19? And or if not, do you guys have a clear idea of what exactly is wrong in there?
I don't know the answer as far as in regards to the surgery. I think it's a little bit, it's just like all of us, all athletes that kind of have wear and tear. That's just part of it. And now it's just kind of showing itself a little bit, and then you got to manage it. I think that it's, the years of sliding, pitching, hitting, and all that stuff.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, thanks, guys. Yep.
Thank you.